Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave, episode 88. Today I'm doing a game that I used to love when I was a kid, and it was essentially my, outside of playing games like Mousetrap when I bought my Atari, this was my Pac-Man clone that I would go to. I didn't have Pac-Man on the Intellivision when I was a kid. I mean, I didn't even know Pac-Man was on the Intellivision until I was much, much, much older. And so, so this was Lock and Chase, or is Lock and Chase, and it's based on an arcade game. There's an arcade game called Lock and Chase, same style and everything. And the thing that I liked about this game was it's not only like a Pac-Man clone, but there's a lot of stuff going on. It's sort of like Mousetrap, which I did that video not too long ago. Where you actually get to do more than just gobble dots. You get to actually lock doors behind you. But this has a lot of interesting sound effects. So not that long ago, I actually picked up the Atari version, Lock and Chase. Now it's made by the same company. This is both made by Mattel Electronics, and so you can see how the cartridges are similar. Lock and Chase. And again, I didn't even know this actually ended up on the Atari. I didn't have an Atari when I was a kid. I borrowed one from a friend for a while, but I didn't actually own my own, so I didn't have any of the games. I didn't know, when I was playing games on the Intellivision, I didn't know that they also were on other systems. I just didn't know that. So I've recently picked this up at a flea market, and I thought this would be a good one to actually look at. I mean, they're both the same company, and they put the game out on two different platforms. And so I wanted to see how the Atari one would actually match up to the Intellivision one. I know that's a tough matchup because, obviously the Intellivision did have a little bit more advanced graphics and sound. That's what I meant to say. And it was a lot more, there was a lot more to the Intellivision's hardware than the Atari, just to be fair. But I would, I do these comparison videos all the time. It's not like I just do it just to knock one and say one's better than the other. I just like to see the little differences and see how they match up, and the fact that it was made by the same company too. It's not like some other company just made a knockoff. Like, this is actually made by Mattel Electronics. So yeah, I'm gonna put these in and take them for a test drive. Alright, so we're gonna start with the 2600 version of Lock and Chase. Right away you can see, okay, there's no title screen, which is pretty common with a lot of these Atari games. And but otherwise, I mean, this looks not bad. I mean, this looks like a decent Pac-Man clone right off the bat. So, yeah. So that's our thief up there at the top, little red guy with his hat. That's the trademark of the thief in the Lock and Chase games. He's got that big hat on, and those guys are like police officers. Kind of funny looking police officers. They look like your common stick figure guy. That's okay. They're blue, so you know they're cops. Oops. Now, kind of like with, what was it, Mousetrap, this game gives you the ability to modify the board, essentially locking up different areas, and that's, I guess, why it's called Lock and Chase. Whoops. Keep running into the cops. I mean, it's your typical maze dot gobbling style game, just with that added feature of being able to freeze the cops and lock the doors behind them. Or, behind you, I should say, not them. Whoa, whoa. Now, I believe you can only have two locked at the same time. The thing I'm kind of noticing is, there's not a whole lot of sound effects in this game, other than the crashing noise when you hit a cop. And when you pick up the little gold pieces, kind of makes that little dink sound. And that noise too. I don't know if that's supposed to be a sack of money or if that's a hat or what it is. Here we go. I always find now the locking of these doors is kind of tricky. To know which doors you're going to actually lock. It's typically the one you just ran by. Oh, Ouch. I only had one more piece to go. Oh, still one man. Oh, okay. It's tricky. These guys are fast. Whoa! I noticed before... Oh, really? I was just like right there. I noticed before I've locked myself into a situation where I trapped myself between a cop and where I was going, and that was not fun. Oh, ran right into him. Very quiet game, though. I mean, there's not a lot of noise. Other than that thing. Lets you know that that's your bonus right there. But if you're not near the middle of the screen, you're not going to be able to get there in time because it doesn't stick around very long. Whoa. Then I find I start focusing on that too much. Out of the way. Oh, lock that door. It looks like the doors are only going in that direction. You can't lock, like, side doors. You can only lock those doors. So if you're going right and left, you can't really lock them. It's only when you're going up and down you can kind of stop them. Whoa. Not doing too well here. These cops are clever. Oh, I just got locked in there. Couldn't do anything about it. I guess I'm dead. Alright, now we're switching to the Intellivision version of Lock and Chase. So we got our typical Intellivision screen. Pretty standard on most Mattel Electronics video games as far as the Intellivision is concerned. Copyright 82. So, I know with this game there's speeds. I don't think the Atari gave me that option. I think it was just one speed. But this one, I know there's speed, so I'm going to go with the fast speed, because the slowest and the slow are painstakingly slow. So we got some cool music there. We can see the cops all look a little bit different, kind of like in, in Pac-Man, where all the ghosts are different colors. Cops look a little funny in this one. They kind of look like, I don't know why they kind of remind me of like Barney Rubble or something like that. We can see our little Mad Hatter guy at the bottom there. So I have to select a player. I'm going to go with 1, because I'm just the one guy. And you can see there's music now. So this is the fast speed. I don't know why they call this fast. So you can notice right now there's a difference in that there's these pieces here of the board, like that open and close, that aren't in the Atari version. So this does have a little bit more difficulty to it, because you have to worry about those things shutting before, if you're trying to get away from the bad guys. And we got a little hat down there. I don't know if you can see that. It's in the middle. Oh. And the $sign is now the symbol for that bonus section. Let me get the hat. The hat really doesn't do a whole lot. It just gives you points, right? There's a little bit more music involved in this. Obviously, there's that, whatever that sound is in the background. Kind of, maybe it's supposed to be the alarm going off. I mean, you are technically robbing a bank. That's the goal for this game. You're robbing a bank, and the cops are trying to stop you from taking all the money. Of course, I'm using the Intellivision controller. Whoa. I get the ability to lock the doors just the same way as in the Atari, in the Atari 2600 version. But in this game, you actually get to lock the doors in a lot more different areas. Like right here, for instance. I believe I could lock it there because there's a little thing there. See? There. So I can lock the doors in different areas of the board Not always just going right to left, but always up and down as well. Once I got all the things, then I advance on to the next level, just like in Pac-Man. But you have to exit, which is also a difference between Lock and Chase and Pac-Man. Once you get all the dots, you don't just automatically win. I'm gonna lock that guy in. You gotta get your butt up to that little yellow door up there. That's how you get. That's how you get out of your little bank area. Makes sense. I mean, you're in a bank or some type of a vault of some sort. You gotta get out. You can't just get the money and then disappear. So you can notice... Oh, I got a crown. Crown jewels. You can notice now that... well, there's a lot more sound going on in this game. This is what I was used to when I was a kid. I was used to this version. So playing the Atari version was a little different for me, because I wasn't used to this being so quiet. Having all those noises and... It's not that the Atari can't do it either, because there is a lot of games in the Atari that have really great sound to them. So it's just an absence of the programmer, I guess, not wanting to put the sound in there, or who knows what. I mean, the Mad Hatter guy's... I think that's his name, anyways. His look in this is similar. I mean, you got the hat, you got the little feet down there, you can kind of see his eyes rolling around. A little bit more graphic. Oh yeah, I guess I can go at the bottom exit too. And as you complete each level, you get these little things over here to show you how far you've gone. I am finding this game to be a little bit easier though. I found that the Atari one was a little more... I don't know. I think the cops in the Atari one were really coming after you hard. This one, it seems like they go a little bit more random directions. They're kind of easier to trap. I guess because you have more places you can actually close the door. Kind of lock them out. Oop, I just got stuck. Oh, there we go. See, I find, how they're all kind of like wandering around down there and they're not coming up towards me? Almost as if they don't even know I'm here. I felt in the Atari version, they knew where I was all the time and they were coming right after me. There was no chance to, like, think and, you know, gather your thoughts. You had to get out of there. So I'd definitely say that the Atari version, for sure, was a little more challenging than this one. Oh, just missed it. No, 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 no. Oh. Too bad. Also, they give you a little visual indication of what your speed is at, too. If you look over here, this little red dot. That's your, you know, I pushed the button on the overlay that was for the fast speed. If I wanted to go faster, I'd have to hit the disc instead of push a button. I think I'm dead. And it's game over. But just to give you a little bit of a preview of what it's like to go at the slow speed, let's just do it anyway. So I got that little blue thing, square. This is why I can't play it at the slow speed. It's too slow. I feel like the game's sluggish in a sense. It doesn't feel right. It feels like the game is messing up on you. You know when you're using your computer and it starts running out of memory or something and you feel like everything's sluggish and loading up really slow? That's what this feels like. And let's just, for fun, hit the disc to the fastest speed. Just to see the difference. Oh, yep, it's faster. Definitely a lot faster. But everything speeds up. It's not just you that's faster, it's the cops too. The game runs at a faster speed. My only complaint about this game is I wish the $ thing would actually freeze them for a little bit longer. I mean, because you don't have the power pellets that Pac-Man has, you don't have the dog like Mousetrap where you can eat them. So you really have to, just keep running. And that little dollar sign will freeze them for a temporary, but very short-lived. Almost not even noticeable. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good speed. Gives you a little white square. Yeah, so as you can see, I mean, this one definitely had a lot more going on. A lot more colorful, more sound and graphics. You know, and much like all the Intellivision products, has a manual and overlays still intact. I don't have anything with this one. I just found the cartridge. The one thing I had to say, though, I mean, the difference is the way they controlled this, as far as not giving you any options. And it seemed like you just had the one speed. I tried flicking the buttons, the difficulty switches. I didn't notice any difference. So maybe there is a difference. I just don't know about it. But it just seemed like it was the same. So, I mean, that's great and all, because you just put it in, you play it. It's a fun game. There's nothing wrong with this version. I mean, it's a pretty decent Pac-Man clone. It's actually, you know, like most people would say about the Atari, pretty much every clone of Pac-Man was better than the original Atari Pac-Man. So, I think that this is a pretty decent version, and it was hard. That's the other thing. It was more challenging. This, I felt that the cops were just kind of, I don't know, they seemed like they were just wandering around, and I was just like off grabbing all the stuff, and you know, every once in a while I would get trapped, and you know, I wouldn't be able to lock a door behind them. And that's the other thing too. This Intellivision version did give you more options as to where you could lock the doors, and you know, it had all those little spots everywhere where you could actually like close. And like I was saying, you know, with the Atari, it just seems like you could only lock them, you know, like this. Whereas in the Intellivision, you can lock them like this and like this. So you can actually create like little areas like this where the cops can't get to you. Similar to Mousetrap. And, you know, I actually think this game is very similar to Mousetrap. The only real difference is, with Mousetrap, you can't, you get to turn into a dog and eat the cats. You know, you get that little bit of a satisfaction. They're not going to let you do this in here. I mean, what are you going to do? Kill a cop? And then, what, another one's going to show up? So, and I don't think that would go over very well if you're actually able to kill the police. That just wouldn't go over very well. Especially not today. But anyways, yeah, I think the comparisons, you know, these feel like they're almost two different games to me. They didn't seem like they were that close to each other. There was a few similarities. You know, the way the cops behave was a little bit different. The lack of sound on the Atari, you know, there's just like those subtle differences. I didn't feel like I was playing the same game, but I had fun playing both games. Like, I didn't have a problem with the Atari one, and I'm sure a lot of people grew up only with the Atari version. I only had the Intellivision version, so, you know, short of me being biased and saying I like the Intellivision one because I grew up with it, I thought this was pretty decent. I actually didn't mind playing it, and I would probably play it again. So, yeah, it's cool. It's not expensive. None of these games are expensive, which is good. You don't have to like break the bank. Unlike the other game I reviewed, Thunder Castle, that one cost me a pretty penny. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to compare these because they're fun and interesting games and great Pac-Man clones. There's lots of Pac-Man clones out there. Lots of games that are dot gobbling. You know, it's a really great traditional style of game, and it never fails, and people still have fun playing them today. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think of Lock and Chase. Have you ever played it in the arcade? I know I tried it on the emulator, and it was hard. So, you know, most arcade games are. Yeah, so I'd like to know what your opinion is. Which one did you grow up with, or have you never seen this game before? And, yeah, I would like to hear what you have to say. So, leave some comments. Anyways, hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.